You ever hear a song that starts out small and personal, but by the end it feels like it's about the entire world? Well, today we're diving into one of the most famous passages in the Gospel of Luke, the Magnificat, or what we call Mary's song. It starts as this really intimate moment of worship, but then it completely transforms into a world-shaking prophecy, one that announces a total turning of the tables. Let's get into it.
Right from the very first line, you can feel how deeply personal this is. This isn't just Mary reciting some words she learned. No, this is something bubbling up from the very core of who she is, her soul, her spirit. It's this pure, unfiltered worship, a direct response to what God is doing in her life.
So, this first part of the song, it's all about that personal praise. It's her faith-filled reaction to the absolutely incredible life-altering news she's just received. And to really get the power of this, you have to remember who Mary is at this moment. We're talking about a young woman, probably a teenager, with no money, no status, from a town so small it was basically a speck on the map. Her humble situation is the exact reason why what God is doing is so radical. It's the whole point.
You know, her praise isn't just some vague, fluffy feeling. It is laser-focused on specific things God has done. He didn't just glance her way. He looked upon her low estate, her powerlessness. She says he has done great things for me. See how personal that is? Her joy is a direct result of God's specific mercy to her. So she's pouring out her heart in this beautiful, personal worship, and then, bam, the song takes this massive turn. The camera, so to speak, suddenly zooms out from her own life to take in all of human history. And right here, this is the turning point. The language, the focus, the scale, it all shifts. It's almost like the Spirit of God, which filled her with this personal joy, now just completely takes over and fills her with this public, prophetic word for the entire world. So what exactly is going on?
Just look at the words she uses. Before, it's all first person, my soul, my spirit, for me. It's her story. But then it switches to these huge declarations about what God has done. He has shown, He has scattered, He has brought down. She's gone from sharing her testimony to proclaiming God's actions on a global scale.
Now, this kind of shift in language actually has a name. It's called the prophetic perfect. It's when a prophet speaks about things that are going to happen in the future, like God scattering the proud or toppling rulers, as if they're already in the past. Why? Because from her spirit-filled prophetic point of view, God's victory is so absolutely certain, it's already a done deal. It's as good as history.
And there are other clues that this is prophecy. Her words sound a lot like the Old Testament prophets, especially Hannah's song, another woman who sang about God turning things upside down. And her audience is suddenly massive. She's not just talking about herself anymore. She's talking about the proud, the rulers, the rich, the hungry. Her personal song has become God's mission statement for what Jesus is about to do in the world.
And this brings us right to the revolutionary heart of her prophecy. She's announcing what scholars often call the Great Reversal, a vision of the world being completely, totally flipped on its head by God's kingdom.
Mary lays out three huge connected reversals. First, there's a moral one. The proud and arrogant get scattered, while the humble are lifted up. Second, a social and political one. The powerful rulers are pulled down from their thrones, and the lowly, the nobodies, are raised up. And third, a massive economic reversal. The rich get sent away with nothing, while the hungry are filled with good things. This is a complete reordering of how the world works.
And get this isn't just a one-off idea she has. Mary's song is basically the opening act for a theme that runs through the entire Gospel of Luke. This idea that God's kingdom flips the script, favoring the marginalized and confronting the powerful, well, that's central to Jesus' whole story. Now, as radical and revolutionary as this all sounds, Mary makes it crystal clear that this isn't some brand new plan God just came up with. Not at all. It's actually the spectacular finale to a very, very old promise. So this great reversal isn't some random event. Mary frames it as God finally, deliberately remembering His mercy and keeping His covenant with Israel. What's happening through her is tied to a story that's been going on for thousands of years.
And she puts a bow on it with her final line, tying everything all the way back to Abraham, the father of the whole nation. She understands that her own personal miracle isn't just about her. It's the event that is kicking off the ultimate fulfillment of God's ancient promise to rescue and bless the entire world.
So, when you step back and look at this short but incredibly powerful song, you see this amazing journey from a quiet private heart to a world-changing public prophecy.
Let's just trace that journey one more time. It starts with Mary's soul just overflowing with joy. Then, the Spirit takes over, and it shifts into this bold prophetic declaration. It announces a stunning takedown of the world's power structures. And finally, it shows how all of this is actually God keeping His oldest promises. Her personal story literally becomes the launch pad for God's redemption of the world. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This song isn't just a beautiful ancient poem. It's a declaration that a completely different kind of world is possible. It was a radical idea back then, and honestly, it's just as radical today. So the question it leaves us with is this: what would it actually look like for the proud to be scattered, for rulers to be brought down, and for the hungry to be filled in our world right now?